All right, what's going on, y'all? So we're 17 weeks out from the 100K now, and as usual, we've got a pretty killer day of training lined up. So this week, I've gone ahead and added in a pre-run shake. This is now going to be in every morning, and I'll be boosting this up as the miles keep ramping up. What I've got is 25 grams of carbs from a cluster dextrin carb powder, and then 45 grams of protein from a whey protein isolate. So this is just giving me a little bit of energy and keeping me from going super catabolic on these runs. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this shake down and then talk to y'all about what the run is this morning. It's a good one. All right, we're driving over to where we're gonna start the run here. We're almost here now. So this is a drive we take pretty much every morning. We always do our runs on either the trail or one day a week on the track. Like I already talked to you guys about why I don't do road running. So we've got this somewhat short little drive every morning, so it makes us wake up earlier. But other than that, we've actually enjoyed it. Kind of gets us up and going before we actually start the run. So it's not just like walking out of the front door and just start the run like I used to do back in the day. So I've enjoyed it. But this week's been a killer week of training, but it has been a super stormy week. It's been raining a lot here in Austin, and this morning we woke up to some pretty loud thunderstorms. So this is going to be a stormy run for sure. Looks like the thunder and the lightning's kind of dissipated, but the rain's still coming down. So what we've got this morning is just an easy zone 2 6 miles on the trail. So just an easy kind of medium-ish run. This is going to be our long run for the week. Mileage is just ramping up, but that's all we've got this morning. So we've got a rainy zone 2 6 miles on the trail, and then this afternoon I've got a chest, shoulders, and tri workout. So this is definitely a killer day of training, but it's a good one. So this is actually going to be our longest long run yet, both for me and Jacqueline during this training block. And actually, I think this is Jacqueline's longest run period that you've ever had, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be a good run, but we'll get out here. We're almost here to the trail now, and then we'll get this kicked off. Well, that's great. My feet are soaked before we even get started. It's going to be a wet one. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, we're only like half a mile in, and we are slipping and sliding all over the place. It is muddy. How you doing, baby?
I'm okay.
We're getting it though. All right, just wrapped up that 6 miles, still waiting on Jacqueline to get back, but that was a super muddy and wet run. The first half of the trail was so nasty. We thought it was going to be just a massive slog fest to get through that 6 miles, but the trail cleared up. And the nice thing is that since it did storm today, the temperature here in Austin, Texas is a little bit lower, which kept the heart rate lower. And it being zone 2, that definitely helped it be a bit quicker of a run. So all in all, a pretty good run. Nice little 6 miles, and then today we got a pretty brutal push workout. But I'm gonna get back to the house, get cleaned up, and then explain how this week's worth of training went for the 100K. But we'll get back and get into it. All right, so Jacqueline and I were just talking about like our breathing after these runs, and we're just over a month now, or just under a month into these runs. So just picked up the running shoes for the first time after 4 years of bodybuilding training. Like 4 weeks ago now, and I seriously underestimated how good I'd be feeling. I knew obviously that with the running, coming over from the bodybuilding, over time I'd feel better, and that was one of the reasons I listed out and the reasons why I retired from bodybuilding, went back to hybrid, why I was doing this. A lot of it was the health, but I truly underestimated how fast I would be feeling this good. My cardiovascular system's feeling super fantastic. It's just like breathing fresh air again, and it really does show the contrast too. After 4 years of intentionally trying to push up my weight for bodybuilding, not doing as much aerobic and anaerobic work like what I'm doing now, Even though I did cardio, it was, you know, obviously different with lifts. I'm feeling so much better. My resting heart rate when I'm sleeping at night is already down to 45 to 48 per night. So that was a huge, drastic improvement, pretty much right off the bat. You know, with bodybuilding, my resting heart rate was always in the 60s. And it was literally like 2 to 3 weeks into this running that it was already below 50 again. So I'm feeling fantastic. The running has definitely made me feel a lot healthier again. So I'm super stoked with that. And honestly too, I'll talk to y'all about it in a minute with how training's going, but the shins and everything are feeling great too. But I'll talk to y'all a bit more in detail about that in a minute. I'm gonna get this meal down, and then we'll talk about how training's gone this week. All right, so let's talk about this week's worth of training and how it all went for the 100K. So this week overall was such a solid week of training. This actually built up my confidence quite a bit more. I know I've alluded to it in the previous videos, but the goal of accomplishing this 100K, especially doing it, essentially coming from no running at all for the last 4 years, has been pretty intimidating for me. So this week, having a very solid week of training, definitely settled some of those nerves at least a little bit, and definitely built up some of my confidence. So let's go ahead and cover the runs. So the runs, today was the 4th run of the week. Today's Friday. We got one more run for this week, tomorrow and Saturday. And then I'll wrap up 24 miles for the week. So right now, after this morning's 6-mile run, we're sitting at 19 miles for the week. And I'll throw up the Strava for the last few weeks up. That way y'all can see the kind of the total mileage. But we're going to be at 24 miles for the week. So we're ramping up. So I believe week 1 was 9 miles. Week 2 was somewhere around 11 miles. And I believe 14 miles. And then last week was 20. This week will be 24. So mileage is ramping up. And with the mileage ramping up, pace is getting a little bit better. So we are rolling into the summer. So the heat is ramping up. And I'm doing strictly heart rate training right now, at least for my zone 2 run. So I've explained in past videos of how I've set up these runs, but the only run throughout the week that I'm not going purely based off of heart rate is the track or the tempo runs. But even with that, I'm now starting to play a little bit more with heart rate rather than a pace goal on those speed training. But with all my runs being based on heart rate, I am seeing that my pace is getting a bit faster. So, you know, we're about a month into this running now. They've been all very, very slow runs, but pace is improving. So we're getting a little bit faster. You know, I would think that would be coming with, you know, the aerobic base being built up along with weight dropping. That's typically been in the past when, you know, I've gone through, you know, a training block where I'm training for an ultra or something like that. I try to bring weight down, obviously, you know, to make the running more efficient. But with that being said, my weight is holding pretty stubborn right now. So last week I was 230. This week I'm 230. I weigh in every morning, but on my log, I log essentially Sunday to Sunday. And this week, the way I'm looking at it right now, I might have a pound drop. We might be able to kind of on Sunday be at 229. But weight is holding very, very, very kind of sticky right now, which on the running side definitely doesn't make things easier. But on the bodybuilding and the physique side is great. It shows that kind of the physique right now and being at 230 is more of kind of my baseline level of strength that, you know, I've kind of really set in place over the last several years. So the amount of muscle tissue and strength that I have on me right now is kind of more of a baseline that it's going to be hard to bring down from here. I don't have a ton of fat to pull off. I'm relatively lean. So it's going to be hard to bring the weight down. But what the plan is over the summer, as mileage keeps ramping up, not to make calories go as aggressively up with it, and to allow the body to just streamline itself down. So naturally let the body weight come down. So I'm not stressing over the fact I'm not dropping weight fast. I know it'll happen, especially as we get closer and closer to the race, and mileage, you know, is up in the 40, 50, 60 miles per week range. At that point, it's just gonna be hard to hold on to 230. But the runs went great this week. We're gonna be at 24 miles, weight sticking at 230. And as far as weight sessions go, the training sessions, strength is dipping a tad. That's where I do think I'm gonna have probably a good weight drop in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Strength is dropping, but at a very, very sustained, solid rate. You know, I'm not dropping weight really, really rapidly to where I'd be worried about tissue just, you know, falling off and being ultra catabolic. You know, I might be dropping a rep on, you know, every other set, or, you know, on one movement, I might be holding numbers, maybe gaining a rep here or there. But overall, you know, maybe losing, you know, rep every other set or something like that. So strength is relatively holding, a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of a decrease, but more of the rate that, frankly, I'd want and expect at this point in the training block. So overall, you know, we're really, really ramping things up, and everything's moving and clicking exactly how I want. I know I've alluded to the shin soreness that I've been dealing with, and this week, even though mileage has been ramping up, the shins have actually been getting better. I'll talk to you all in another video about how I deal with shin splints. You know, I've had them so many times throughout the years, and I figured out ways to still, at least for myself, be able to run through shin splints and have them heal up completely, you know, rather than having to take a bunch of time off. Because I've done both. I've done both to where I was worried I was getting stress fractures and had to take off quite a bit of time. And then I've had other times where, you know, I've had shin splints, kept running through them, and then used different recovery techniques and kind of hacks to get the shins to heal while still running. And it's definitely working. This week the shins healed up quite a bit. As far as that, you know, I've got no niggles, no soreness. You know, the muscles are feeling better. This morning on the run too, felt so much more of a runner. You know, how I used to feel back in the day, to where the stride is lengthening a bit more. It just feeling a little bit less clunky on the run. So feeling a little bit more like a runner, definitely feeling more like a hybrid athlete. But everything's clicking along. We're 17 weeks out from the Desert Wolf race tomorrow. So feels like a long time out, but I know from all my bodybuilding preps that were about 16 to 20 weeks long, how long or how fast these preps go. So there's no time to waste. We're only at, you know, going to be 24 miles for the week now, and we've got to build up quite a bit to be able to accomplish this 100K. So it's about to be a hot and heavy mileage summer, but here for it, and the momentum we've got right now is killer. So right now we've got a chest, shoulders, and tris workout we're getting ready for, but it's going to be a killer one. I'll take you all through it. All right, just finished up that push day. That was a pretty solid workout. Strength held pretty
pretty good today. Actually went up on most sets by about a rep. So getting back some strength today. So what we did in there, I did 8 movements for chest, or 8 sets for chest, not 8 movements, 8 sets for chest, 8 sets for shoulders, and then 6 sets for tries, and then a little bit of abs. And those are just working sets, split between a few movements. So that wraps up today. Today was a 6-mile run this morning, and then that push workout, and then tomorrow Saturday is going to be a 5-mile zone 2 run on the trail in the morning, and then the evening is going to be a hamstring, back, and bis workout. So tomorrow's another pretty full day, and then Sunday is going to be rest. So that's going to wrap up 17 weeks out. We did 24 miles this week. We will tomorrow, and then next week we're ramping up mileage even more. We're going to be ramping up mileage for quite a few weeks before we have a little bit of a deload. You know, we can handle it right now. I'm being really attentive to recovery, both for me and Jacqueline. So we're still ramping it up, and in a few weeks we'll have a deload, but we've got some more miles to crush next week. So that's going to wrap up the episode for the 100K prep. We're moving along. Motivation is high, and things are really clicking well this week. So definitely got quite a bit of confidence from this week. But this is definitely a good one. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Be happy, be positive, be powerful, and have a great rest of your day.